Hi everyone and welcome to the weekly Walla video preview. We had a good week last week.
Yeah, fantastic week last week with 5 city winners, so certainly keeping the wolf from the door.
Yep, we had 2 at Sandown.
No, 1 at Sandown.
Oh, 1 at Sandown.
And 1 at Canterbury.
Prescience and Noir.
Yeah, they were both good wins, and then led into a busy Saturday.
3 winners at Hawkesbury. Yeah.
Good to see Shillelagh win a group race, obviously a Group 3. Obviously being a mare that's enhanced her value considerably, so that's obviously a great thing. And Great Glen, well, I think they said we won the last 4 runnings of that race, the 2100 metre race, so that's obviously good and a good start for a UK campaigner.
Definitely. And So Willie.
So Willie in the last, well, probably the win of the day. Tommy gave it an absolute peach and bolted up, so no, very good week.
Right, this week we've got quite a few runners Saturday. Firstly, Adelaide in the Group 1 Australasian Oaks, Egg Tart.
Yeah, absolutely. She's been a model of consistency. Doesn't seem to know how to finish second. She's won her 3 starts this prep and gone from strength to strength. She went to the beach this morning. She travelled down overnight, settling in at Morphettville, and the step up from a mile to the 2,000 metres certainly won't be a hindrance. She loves the softer track, and I think it's a soft 5. Good barrier in barrier 5. Kieran McAvoy aboard. Well, no one riding better than him. He knows her well. Won her maiden. Should be certainly a top 3 chance, if not even hard to beat in a Group 1. So that's good.
Very good. And Gold Coast, we've got the fillies in the listed Gold Coast bracelet over 1800 metres.
Yeah, we've got Invincibella, barrier 3. She was also in at Rosehill, but drew wide, so we decided to send her up to the Gold Coast, where she's got a good alley and with a good local jockey in Larry Cassidy, who's had great success for us in the past. I think this is a good opportunity for her in a, I wouldn't like to say a weak race, but it's a good opportunity for her to gain some more black type. She should get a lovely run. 1800 metres is a slight concern. It's probably as far as she wants to go, but she'll get a lovely run, and that will help us see out the distance. And
then Dawn Wall, Huey's riding her from barrier 15.
Yeah, barrier 15 certainly makes it trickier, but I think she's the class act in the race, and obviously this is much easier than what she has been tried at in her last start. So if we're not too inconvenienced by the barrier, I think she should be running a very good race from that.
Then we move to Religify in the 1400 metre Prime Minister's Cup.
Yeah, well, he was brilliant last preparation. Absolute model of consistency. He resumes from barrier 5 with Hugh Bowman. His trials have been good and everything's going well with him, so he galloped well this morning ahead of getting on the float tonight, making his trip up to the Gold Coast.
And the Hollandale Stakes. Preferment, we haven't seen him for a while. He'll be ridden by Huey, barrier 1.
Yeah, it's good to see him back at the races on a better surface, where he's obviously much better than his soft form. So that's why we haven't seen him for such a long time. But he's really enjoying his work and finishing off his work. So I think he could be right up back to his best. This is obviously a little bit short of his best, but I think if looking at the fields, he's a 4-time Group 1 winner. If he's up to his best, they've all got something to fight hard to beat.
And McCreary, he ran well in the Doncaster. He'll be ridden by Chief Lloyd.
Yeah, he's a great little horse. He tries his heart out. He's got a good barrier in barrier 5. Jeff Lloyd is leading the Premiership up in Queensland by quite some way, so we certainly lose nothing in putting him to work on Saturday, and he should be able to get a lovely run, be fighting out the finish, I would have thought.
Then we move to Rosehill. We've got a few runners at Rosehill. Firstly, Madame Moustache, fresh up over 1100.
Yeah, well, she had a good first preparation, and last prep was a little bit of a muddle going up to the Gold Coast, and ran fair there, but it was a muddly sort of race for her. She's come back in well and trialled well last week. Barrier 5 should make it a little easier for her, and she seems in good shape.
The 1800 metre race, we've got 6 in this. Invincibella firstly, Tim Clark, barrier 13.
Obviously, she'll be up in the Gold Coast, so she'll scratch, but we'll go to
Black on gold.
Black on gold. Obviously, 1800 metres is a step in the right direction. He was very unlucky last start. Wait until he gets up to 2000 and beyond, and that's when we'll really see him at his best. But he certainly looks a good winning chance from a good barrier with a good, strong Sydney rider on board.
Oklahoma Girl, she's won her last 2. She'll be ridden by Tommy Berry from barrier 2.
Yeah, absolutely. She's progressing really nicely through the grades, and hopefully she can be winning a race like this if she's to get to her end target of the Oaks. You can't really fault her. She's been working well since that last win. Tommy knows her well. Barrier 2.
Tumultuous, another last start winner, barrier 3. Who will be riding him?
Yes, Tim Clark will be aboard on Tumultuous. Barrier 3 makes things easier, and a last start winner, although at the provincial, so this is a good step up in grade. Although it's only a benchmark race, it's a pretty competitive lineup. I mean, I think the vast majority of this field are looking at potential derbies and Oakses, so we'll have to weigh up whether he goes here or whether we find a more suitable option.
Octavian Augustus, barrier 14, he's been working well?
Yeah, he's been working well. Blinkers go back on, as well as stepping up to the 1800. I think he's racing well, but he just needs to improve that little bit to be fighting out the finish here. I hope the extra distance can do that.
And lastly, Cross Stitch.
Yeah, she's been a little bit disappointing this preparation, but I think 1800 metres will see her improve, as well as having Rachel King taking it down to a real bantam weight of 51 or 51.5 kilos. So she should be able to get a good run with doing no work with a very light weight, and hopefully her best work can be late.
Then we move to race 4 over 1200 metres. We've got the 3 runners. We'll start with Zumbalina, Brenton Abdallah.
Yeah, it's a tough ask with 61 kilos. I think she's going great guns, but whether 61 kilos is the right thing to do for her. We're trying to get her back into a bit of form. Admittedly, I think the dry track is probably the key. But if we can, there's a suitable race for her next week, so we'll weigh up our options as to whether we go here or indeed race next Saturday.
Then we've got New Universe, who will be ridden by Tommy Berry, barrier 14. First start for Chris?
Yeah, first start for us, but his trial has been good, and he had a jump out for us, and he did that really nicely. So the barrier makes it a bit awkward from barrier 14, but we've got a good Sydney rider with most seniors up in the Gold Coast or in Adelaide. It's certainly, I think you'll see on Saturday those 3 or 4 main Sydney riders riding the majority of the card. So looks a good chance.
And Pound Sterling, he's been running well with his last 2 placings, 2nd and 3rd. He'll be ridden by Tim Clark, barrier 12. Yeah,
again the barrier makes it a little bit awkward, but he's been racing consistently. This is a little bit harder, obviously. Those have been the midweeks, stepping up to Saturday grade, but I think he deserves his chance during the winter months.
And then we move to 1500 metre race. We've got 4 runners in this. Shandana, barrier 14, Tim Clark.
Yeah, last start winner, won really impressively with blinkers on for the first time. She has to get a bit of cover, so the barrier is a little bit not much of an inconvenience to her. Should allow her to switch off and relax before attacking the line late.
Vianepoli, James Innes Jr., barrier 4, 58.5 kilos.
Yeah, taking a good 2 kilos off her back. She's got a good barrier. She's racing well. This is a stepping stone. I think she needs slightly further, but with the weight off, she can run a competitive race.
Pianissimo?
Yeah, Pinissimo with Josh Parr. One fresh up, over slightly shorter than this, but he's this is the distance I think he wants. He'll like the track. He'll run well.
And our beatnik running well last start. Second, Tommy Berry on board, barrier 9.
Yeah, he's holding his condition much better this preparation. Last prep was a little bit disappointing. He lost weight between runs and didn't, as a result, didn't hold any form. Hopefully, in his track work, he's come on from his good first up run, and this is slightly harder, but this is where he needs to be going.
And then we move to the listed Lord Mayor's Cup over 2,000 metres. We've got the 2 runners, Beyond Thankful.
Yeah, Beyond Thankful, 2,000 metres is probably maybe even just still a touch short of his best, but it's a good stepping stone into a 2,400 metre race in 3 weeks' time. He'll be second up, he's gaining in fitness, and Tommy knows him well.
And Soviet Courage will be ridden by Adrian Late from barrier 10.
Yeah, he's only got 53 kilos on his back, which I guess gives him a bit of an advantage. He is a little bit wrong at the weights due to the top weight being so highly rated, but Adrian rides the weight well, and he should be able to get a nice run.
And lastly, In Times of War over the 1,100 metres.
Yeah, she's a model of consistency, never being out of the first 2. This is slightly harder for her. She's stepping out into the Saturday grade and against older mares who are well seasoned. So whether we run here or look for a slightly easier option just to try and gain a bit of confidence, we'll assess over the next couple of days.
At Flemington, we have Overstep running up the straight in the 1,200 metres.
Yeah, she drew barrier 1. She should get a lovely run from there, and I think it looks a winnable race for her.
Duchess Kate over 2,000 metres. She should improve from her last run.
Yeah, she should, and I think she needs to. 2,000 metres will suit. Barrier 13 shouldn't really affect her. She'll go back and get cover. Well, not necessarily go back, but she will get cover, and the distance will suit.
And lastly, Irish Optimism, the European import over a mile.
Barrier 1 should help him get a lovely run in transit. The mile distance is a little bit short of his best, but he'll be nice and fresh for this run with a big gap between runs, and hopefully we can see him fly home late. And that's it.
Very good. Charlie's got his big triathlon this weekend, so
yeah,
good
exactly.
luck with that.
Pressure on. Thank you.